Okay, I'm filming this outside. Filming's kind of a loose term since obviously I'm not very good at this. And I got a lot of the critters around that are wanting dinner, so if we hear some additional noises, it's because they are thinking I should be inside doing this. As I mentioned to you folks, I had thought about this for a long time as you were doing your video project, so I wanted to share and send you some of my thoughts. My title for this is Why Ethics in Accounting Matters, because you matter. So, for starters, I put another little clip out there to introduce you to Mikey the dog and the two new kittens that have joined the household, Abby and Samantha, and last but not least, of course, Gary, Mr. Doran, the grader, who, of course, made my life so much better, I think, in giving me his take on what you're doing. And so this clip just includes kind of what I would put together if I was given an assignment of trying to share with you why I think ethics in accounting matters. As I told you, it's because I feel you as students matter so much. And so the design of the course was kind of like a little three-legged stool. I wanted to help you figure out what matters. In other words, I wanted to give you a growing awareness, more sensitivity, particularly if you were going to be in situations where you might be caught holding the bag. You might not even know you're holding the bag, so to speak. I wanted it to kind of ring with you as to why it mattered. I think the role you play in today's world is so important, whether it's something of a full-blown accountant, you want to see yourself with that, or even just the idea of an informed citizen, an informed neighbor, an informed, inhabitant of the planet. And I think how it matters is the core that we talked about, the core of integrity, of wholeness, of caring, of excellence. Those are traits I think you have within. I think that's maybe why you were choosing the field you chose. And I certainly saw that evidenced in the things you shared with me um, in your write-ups. I think the how you learn to walk the walk is a big deal. It starts with your awareness. And that awareness is how you kind of try to buy into the values. I'm not really sure it was so much a buy-in as it was, as I said, an aha or awakening to kind of what you already had, and many of you have these very, very clearly defined. But I think it is important to remember one of our tools that we got from the class is how it happens is to remember to breathe. Remember some of those breathing exercises because that's where your settling and your sense of courage can really help you make a choice that isn't always easy, is going to feel unsettled at times, give you the ability to speak truth to power. And here's one of the things I wanted to help you with in the course is realizing sometimes that truth that we're speaking power to is the seeming power of the shadow self, of the person that we don't want to be, of that response that comes forward that after we thought about it for some time, we're like, oh, I didn't want to do that. That isn't what I wanted to choose to do. So I think it's the hardest thing that we can sometimes do is speak truth to the collection of opinions that we think run us or run the world. When many times we have to ask ourselves, why do I think that? Why do I think that has to be the way it is? And we realize, just as some of you shared with me in your essays, that's come over a period of time. I've collected those ideas. That may not be what's the best answer. So I would want you to awaken to your inner uniqueness. Um, we sometimes in today's world talk about being special, and we think that sometimes there's too much of that, too much a sense of entitlement or privilege. And so it's not so much the word special I like you to think about as the idea of unique. There's only one you. So you've got to bring your gift, your voice, your verse, if you will, to the song that you're singing. I'm looking at my notes here if you couldn't tell. Um, because I want you to be concerned with being better than you once were, than your former you. Don't worry about being better than the guy next to you or the person above you or any of those sorts of ways that we try to assess a situation. It's really worthless in a sense. There's just not much merit to it. You've got to be better than you were a moment before, or a year before, or a week before. That's the only thing that really ever matters. And along with that being better, please, please remember how to be gentle with yourself. You're doing so much more than you sometimes realize. You're being a better example than you may even realize. So last but not least, I want you to realize, and I said this, I left this with some of you, I am here if you ever need to phone home, if you ever need a place to call to hash through something. We can talk about your real life dilemmas, and we can hypotheticalize them so that you wouldn't feel that anything's being betrayed. But more than that, I would say to you, trust your inner teacher. I'm so glad I had been in the role of teacher with you guys this semester. And I'm so glad I've been in the role of a student with you, because you each really taught me a lot. Remember, breathe deep. We're filled up full with so much good. Thank you for a great semester.